If your organization hasn't moved to a hosted voice platform, I think you're really missing out. Let's drill into some of the benefits of a hosted voice platform relative to some of the other options in the market. Hi, I'm Steve Murphy. I'm a Vice President at ARG, and while I work for ARG, this video is my own and doesn't necessarily reflect the views of my employer. When we talk about a hosted VoIP platform, I want to draw a clear distinction versus the traditional VoIP platforms that you may have installed for your organization that sit on a server in your data center. There's a huge difference between the two. The traditional VoIP platform that you might have installed in your data center is simply an IP-enabled PBX system. A hosted voice platform is a completely different animal and reflects several benefits that go beyond traditional PBX systems. We're going to explore those benefits, and we're going to start with the strategic benefits that hosted voice provides the organization. Then we're going to talk about the economics of hosted voice. We're going to talk about how hosted voice future-proofs your organization from a technology perspective, how it elevates your communications to a strategic asset, and then we're going to take a look at some of the players in the market and talk about how you can access that marketplace and make the best decision for your organization. There's a long list of advantages or benefits for a hosted VoIP system. You get an enterprise feature set even though you may be a small office. Things like never missing a call with Find Me, Follow Me features, priority ringing, voicemail transcription, which translates the voicemail into text and emails it to the receiver. It'll also send the WAV file for that voicemail as well. Collaboration platforms are also typically included, and you have an optional contact center platform that I think even the smallest businesses can take advantage of. Hosted VoIP platforms are super easy to manage. There's a lot of self-management that's available, so your users can customize the platform to their liking, and if IT is managing it or some other telecom group is managing it, it's a much lower level of effort in terms of management than traditional platforms. Also, because you have a single vendor that supports both the voice platform and the telecommunications services, it's a lot easier to troubleshoot any issues that come up. Now, I mentioned Find Me, Follow Me. That means that you can get calls and make calls from your mobile device anywhere that you are. The mobile-enabled feature set of the hosted VoIP platform allows people to make and receive calls anywhere in the world, from their mobile device or even from their laptop. And one of the great things about hosted voice is that when you're making or receiving those calls, the third party that you're communicating with has no idea that you're communicating on a mobile device. It appears as though you're communicating from within a corporate environment, and you are. We also have the ability to eliminate mobile telephone numbers. So if you have a workforce that publishes mobile telephone numbers on their contact information, that can be discontinued. The personal mobile telephone numbers should not be part of a person's corporate communication information, and we need to eliminate that so those mobile numbers don't confuse customers should that person rotate into a new position or leave the organization. And because of the mobile-enabled nature of hosted voice, you're going to see a dramatic improvement in productivity. People can make and receive calls from anywhere, as I mentioned, but at also any time. Marketing and sales integration is also a huge win when we go to hosted VoIP. You can implement an integration program with your CRM or your marketing automation platform and link the communication flow with the marketing flow or the contact flow and really get a robust sense of how your customers are engaging with the organization. From a support perspective, you're no longer relying on your PBX vendor for support. You now have a 24/7 support desk infrastructure with a hosted VoIP provider that allows you to fix and resolve issues at any time they arise. And hosted voice is a lot more secure than traditional phone systems. You have advanced encryption and a host of security features that are built around the hosted VoIP platform that you just couldn't replicate on a prem-based system. If you're interested in international services, hosted VoIP will change your life. It's very easy to implement international services in a unified calling environment with a hosted VoIP platform. You can implement hosted VoIP for 1 or 2 users as you begin to grow and expand your international footprint, and porting numbers internationally has never been easier. Lastly, I'm going to talk about resiliency. Most hosted VoIP platforms have active data centers. Most have multiple data centers and have your information stored in at least 2 geo-redundant data centers that are available anytime. So should something happen to one of the primary, let's say the primary data center, your voice communications will automatically fail over to the redundant data center. I've personally done total cost of ownership or TCO analyses on many hosted VoIP projects. And almost every time, hosted VoIP comes out a clear financial winner against a traditional platform. Let's talk about why hosted VoIP is so much more affordable over the long run than a traditional model. First of all, there's no upfront cost with hosted VoIP. Traditional models include things like software and hardware that needs to be purchased up front and then amortized or depreciated. Traditional services also include the network connectivity charges that come into the on-prem systems. Then there's the vendor support that needs to be an ongoing expense for that service. And then lastly, there's usually a collaboration service that can be incorporated in a hosted VoIP model. With hosted VoIP, we don't have those upfront costs. There's generally no hardware that's required. Hardware may be optional, but in our practice, about 50% of our customers opt not to include handsets in their hosted VoIP implementation. I personally haven't used a handset in over 5 years and have been perfectly happy freeing up that real estate on my desk and not having to be tethered to a phone. The seats are on a subscription basis, so there is a monthly recurring cost for the hosted VoIP service rather than an upfront cost and then an ongoing cost for those network services. And generally, all domestic usage, outbound usage, is included in that subscription cost. There are some metered subscriptions that you might use for certain seat profiles, but in general, most of our customers opt for the unlimited version simply to reduce the headaches and trying to manage usage and so forth for their users. Now, there still is toll-free and international usage associated with those seats, so just be aware of that. I mentioned that there are different plans, unlimited and metered, but there are also different feature plans. And this allows you to optimize your cost model across your different user bases. It gives you the ability to give your salespeople, for example, unlimited service and a full feature set, but your common area phones or your lobby phones might have a minimum set of features and no usage included in that subscription. Installation is almost a no-cost element. We do like our customers to buy the robust training package that goes with implementation, but generally implementation is a lot less costly than a traditional on-prem model. There are also a lot of online training courses over time, so you don't need to pay for additional training in the future. You can just send your users to YouTube videos that the provider has put out that show them how to do some of the basic things within the voice platform. And then lastly, you may be able to reuse your handsets that you've already invested in. Many of the hosted VoIP platforms support multiple manufacturers for handsets, and you might be able to get some additional use out of that investment that you've already made. Beyond the economic advantages of hosted VoIP, you're really investing in an asset that will continue to grow and improve in terms of its value to the organization rather than depreciate. You see, once you install a traditional prem-based service, that system is pretty much obsolete the day it's installed. And if you want to improve it, there's generally a pretty hefty price tag that goes along with upgrading the system. But hosted VoIP providers are improving their platforms continuously, and those improvements that are rolled out almost on a monthly basis are usually automatically included in the profiles that you've previously subscribed to at no additional cost. So rather than your system being obsolete the day that you install it, your communication system with hosted VoIP will actually become more valuable over time. Hosted VoIP will improve your voice strategy. Today, voice communications is really seen as a utility, but with hosted VoIP, your voice communications becomes a strategic asset. It helps you accomplish and hit your corporate goals and objectives. Things like revenue growth by giving salespeople and marketing more tools. Cost reduction by lowering the cost of your voice communications platform, but also lowering your support costs. Productivity improvements drive headcount efficiencies, and the ease of deployment supports acquisition strategies and growth initiatives. The omni-channel customer engagement services, now these are an optional service that you pay extra for, but it's a per user subscription cost rather than a big upfront cost for a contact center module that you might pay for a traditional platform. These omni-channel customer engagement services will really allow you to get closer to your customers. Now, how do you access all of these benefits? Well, there are hundreds of hosted VoIP providers in the marketplace. Most of them are reselling one or two of the leading underlying platforms. The real differences come in what people have done to customize those underlying platforms and what type of integrations they have. You really want to work with a consultant or someone who's done 50 or 100,000 seats of hosted VoIP, so that you can be certain that they understand the marketplace, the features that are available, and how those features might apply to your specific needs and objectives. Now, we're one of the few organizations out there that has done over 100,000 seats of hosted VoIP. We think we have a pretty good handle on the market. Feel free to reach out to me and have a conversation. My contact information is in the description of this video. Be more than happy to discuss your needs around hosted VoIP with you. There's never a charge to do that. Our company works for our clients for free. I can explain what that means in more detail when we have an opportunity to chat. If you got some value out of this video, I would really appreciate a like. That helps other people see this video and get some value out of it as well. And if you want to come back to this video or videos like this, I'd suggest that you subscribe to the channel. It'll help you find your way back here at any time. And with that, I want to thank you for your attention, and I hope you have a great day.